I want to be the 1200 pound 550 barrier. So my name's Lewis Byng, I'm 20 years old, I'm a strongman competitor, international shot putter, and I dabble in the Rubik's Cube. So I started the javelin with the intention of becoming a better javelin thrower, but then through just growing and getting stronger, shot put came naturally to me. And I made my first England team when I was 15. And then 2021 came, decided to enter a strongman comp. I came 5th at the under 23 UK Strongest Man. And then a few months later, broke the British record just on a wheel, just pulled 371 kilo, and it moved well. So I was very, very happy with that.
Come on, Lewis. Come on, get up! Get up! Come on!
It's a very demanding sport, like the yoke, the atlas stones, all this kind of stuff. It's one of the sports that hurt, but it should hurt sometimes, like the tacky or a yoke, your spine compresses. But when I get a goal, I pursue it quite strongly. So something like the deadlift, where I wanted to pull the 400 kilo last year, I didn't do it last year in the end. Then I did it in the January, and I was very, very happy. I thought, okay, that's one of the big lifetime goals ticked. I thought I'd do like 25, and I did that. I wanted to do the 400 because it's a number which I don't know what the percentage is, but not a very small number of it, just gym goers in general ever hit it, and very small number of strongmen. Obviously it's getting more common now because a lot more people are competing in strongman and coming from different sports of strongman. So for example, the 1,000 pound deadlift last year, I think 7 or 8 people did it. So I mean, that tells you that the sport's progressing very well, considering in 2016 when Eddie Hill pulled the 500, there was only 3 people that pulled it, and they were like they all pulled a world record at the time. So yeah.
Hold in the back here, keep it tight, because you tend to have this habit of just rolling, because you're going to go into this flick movement with the biceps. I want to offload the biceps a little bit if we can, so they're not overstrained through the process. Lock it in tight.
So this, then when I get to like these reps,
that's fine, but at the early sets, just grind it in.
Oh. And then this was rep 6, and actually, quite a lot lower.
And as you fatigue, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But on the early stuff, keep that nice solid back.
Yep.
Snap it at the top. 1. Good. Go again. Come on. Control.
So, Mark contacted me. This was to do a shot put about, I think it was the 2018 to 2019 winter, but this wasn't to do a strongman. He was just saying about he sees lots of potential in me, no matter the route I go, even though I was just doing shot put at this point. And he said I could shot put discus, but he said there's a lot of potential there. I think the fact that after the 2018 season I had quite a few people, a lot of coaches. I had probably about 10 different coaches across the UK to do a shot put, and then I actually saw him at the Brits in 2020 because I was in my GB kit, so it was pretty hard to miss. I thought, okay, I'll go in the GB kit because people would see me and probably ask questions. And then Mark was actually 2 seats behind me. I was like, okay, how's that working if in an arena of like 10, probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 10,000 people? He was right there and he saw the GB kit, so he thought, okay, that's Lewis. I started training with him properly in September of 2021, and it's been very good. So I think the good thing about me and Mark is he understands me in a very good way. So I'm autistic. He used to have a school for autistic children, and the first time I actually went to the gym to see him in the summer of 2021, I went to the gym, there was music on, lights on, and I'm fine with this, but he actually came up to me and said to me, how are you with all this? He asked me a few questions because he knows that sensory overload's a big thing with autism. And obviously I was fine, but I've never actually had someone not go out of their way, but ask me about that. And that kind of then told me, yeah, he understands it already, and I haven't even walked through the door properly. But similar to this, I know my body quite well, and I train differently in the mental side. So if I have like in my head I want to do something, it's very hard not to want to go and do it that day. So if I wanted to do so, I'll talk to him, and if he says no, I'll be like, yeah, sound, because I need that. Because if he didn't say just the word no, shut up, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But then if you're like, because he has like kind of the same, not aspirations, but the same kind of thought process as me. Like he sees that I can do this and do that. Yeah, okay, we'll give it a go sometimes, because you don't want to be maxing out all the time, but every now and again isn't too bad. And I think that's the leniency he has. So I didn't actually deadlift a max from June in 2021 until the 400. So I had about 6 months, and I think even though I pulled the 400 when he just said have fun, he was happy because A, I was injury free, B, it's 400, and C, like I hadn't hit a PB for quite a while. And yeah, I think the understanding he has of me is really good, and yeah, that's the big thing. I messaged Mark last night saying, "Can I go to the gym and do some push press?" I sent him another message straight after saying, actually ignore that message, and I started talking about something else. But it's like I get really quick thoughts, and I'm very quick to do things. So I'll send him a message, and within like 5 seconds I say, okay, ignore that, I've got over it. Because I've texted him now, I know what he's going to say. I've already like comprehended it.
Not going wrong here. You like to go, I'm going to throw this back here. Well, you got 130 kilos sitting in your chest. Yeah. What's going to happen? But your early ones weren't the most efficient movements. No. You're overexcited about them. Full recovery. And we'll go again a little bit lighter and just rep a few up. Yeah. Better. Come on. So much better, look. So much better. Just keep repping them out. Gone. My pants hurts, yeah. It's 100 mile an hour as soon as you pick up. Yeah. We've got to get out of that default bang until you need it, which is, not straight in on a log. You've got to squeeze it up.
Yeah. So I think that's going to that would be the longest thing to break, really.
So it's like I'm just going to snatch it.
Yeah. I don't know, like I'm so happy with that, because like
hey, don't be disappointed with it.
Obviously, I always set myself high goals, and like
the numbers were fine. It was just a bit rough and ragged. That was all. You were just a bit too. You were a bit pumped on it, so you were going ahead of yourself. So let's just calm it back down. But you still got to attack the weight. This is still 120 kilos. Yeah. You've still got to attack it when you press. All right. So give it the respect it deserves, and just grind in some nice reps.
So I had a pretty troubled childhood, in the sense of I wasn't necessarily a naughty kid, but I struggled with emotions, socialising, talking to people, and I got to the point that within about year 9 I got very depressed, I got very sad, lonely, and I just couldn't like function in a mainstream school. In the end, my mum went to the doctors and we got written off, so I then could try and sort out the mental health side. A lot of kids at that age, they see me what I was like, and they would pick on me, hit me, and that kind of stuff. And obviously I was a big person, but people don't realise I'm not an aggressive person, I'm not a physical person. I didn't want that. I just wanted to go to school, have fun, get some qualifications. So I went to a school called Northley House School in Hatton, which is basically a school for bullied kids and people that can't function in a mainstream school. I was there from I'd say year 11, year 12, but I was doing my GCSEs there. I was in the school about twice a week because the funding, but honestly it was the best thing to happen to me. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be training now. I probably wouldn't be doing shot put, just for the fact of I would have probably been at home just crying still. But I got some GCSEs that I needed, then went to college, and then this is my first time back in the mainstream school. But the fact that I could go back to the mainstream and feel comfortable and feel safe was a big thing. And obviously over the years, as you get older, you do grow up and mature, but I wouldn't have been where I am at that point if it wasn't for Northley. But I want to say a big thanks to them. There's always like an end goal. There's always an end route. I would say, don't think there's no way out or nowhere to go. Talk to your parent, talk to a guardian, talk to a doctor if you need to. It may get worse for a bit, but then it will get better. I can guarantee that, because I went through a period of time where I was going down, down, down. I got to the point where I was just sitting still all day doing absolutely nothing, just staring at a screen. And people think that having time off school for that long at that age is fun, but it really isn't. Whenever you saw your mates or people online having fun playing football and you're just sat at home, it's not as fun. But when I got to the point of slowly rising up out of that kind of dark area, it kind of came quickly, and then I started to socialise more, see old mates that I hadn't seen in months because of that, and then shot put came about and got to England. So there's always a way out, and I think that you got to have faith. That's the big thing. When I'm in the gym, I could be there for 3 hours, and it feels like I've been there 10 minutes because I'm with like a group of people that my mates, they all have the same interests. And even if someone's watching this and they don't want to go to the gym, if they want to play football, play rugby, hockey, if you're around people who have the same interests and same driven goals, then it'll kind of like bounce off each other, in the sense that you'll progress quicker, you'll be happier. And I think being in the environment of the people with the same goals is just great. So the big thing about strongman is you can track progress really easily. So when I see a number on the bar or a number on the stack of weights, it's very easy to then progress in your head as well as physically, because you have goals of like numbers and reps and sets and volume. And the fact that that is so easy to track, it means that setting goals is really easy, and setting goals is the biggest thing for progressing, I think, mentally and physically. So the deadlift attempt I'm going for is 411 kilo, which will beat the current record by Kevin Nee at 410. Prep's gone really well. I started prep on the first week at 345 for 4. The week after 350 for 4, 355 for 3, 363 for 3. Then I had a bit of a speed week, 380 for a collective of 3 reps, then deload, and now I'm just having the boring rest time. But it's gone very well. The fact that I pulled 363 for 3 was very, very, very good, in the sense that my record in comp is 371, and I pulled pretty much that for 3 reps, and there was no hitching, very smooth, and I know there's at least a rep there. I've been wanting to just pull the 411 now for the last like 5-6 weeks. So I know it's been there, but obviously save it for the comp and leave it on the platform. So 5 years, I'll be 25 then. I have big aspirations, and I'm basing my goals off of the progress I've had in the last year. Obviously everyone knows the rate of diminishing return, the better you get, the slower the progress. Everyone who does strongman to a good level, they want to be world's strongest man. So that's the first one. And I want to deadlift the 500 plus kilo, depending what it is when I get to that point. But obviously I've always said I want to pull 550, and I think I said this about a year ago. I want to be the 1,200 pound 550 barrier, because Eddie Hall put the 500 kilo on the map. Everyone said no, you couldn't do it, and he did it within a year. I'm not saying I'm going to do this within a year, I'm saying I'm doing this within 5, 6, 7 years. But I think 550 for me is achievable, for the sense that I started the gym at a 200 kilo deadlift. It's been 3 years, I'm at 400 plus, and there's a lot of avenues I can follow, and I've done that 200 to 400 whilst pretty much the last year was just strongman, but the previous years with the shot put. I found, in the sense that now I've been training strongman since September, I progressed on everything so much quicker, such as like log press, grip, deadlift, all that kind of good stuff. And it means that if I set a goal of like 450 in 5 years, I wouldn't not train as hard, but when I get it within a year, I'll be very in a weird kind of state of mind, thinking, oh, okay, I've set the bar too low. I think if I don't make stupid goals that people always message me saying, oh, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, then there's no fun in it.